This is our October produce haul, and it's just the second time I've been grocery shopping since we've been living in our new house. I want to walk you through all of the massive good deals that I got at the produce stand, and then we will divide the video up to a second part to talk about Costco and the grocery store. If you're just meeting me, my name is Amy Cross, and this is the Cross Legacy, where I teach you how to save money on groceries. The average family is throwing away over 40% of the food that they're buying, and I'm able to have zero produce waste. I teach all of my tips in my book, The Zero Waste Produce Guide, and I even had a TED Talk about produce. We just moved to our new house just over a month ago, and this is our second grocery shopping trip since being here. So today is October 20th. One of my favorite things to do is to buy seasonal produce and then to base the meals that I'm making around that produce that I get. One of the things that I got was this humongous cabbage, which is literally bigger than my head. And I got this entire cabbage for $4. Most of the farm stands in our area in Washington, either on the western side or the eastern side here, normally close the farm stands around Halloween or those first couple weeks in November. So when you're going to the produce stand late in October, you can sometimes score some really great deals. In my last produce haul, you might have heard me talking about buying some onions, and I ended up picking them out of the bin so I could pick them out instead of getting the large case of them, because the case was more per pound than getting them out of the bin. But this time, getting a 40-pound case of onions was only $20. So that is going to last me for many months. And I was totally shocked that I was able to still get fresh tomatoes that they were really trying to discount and get rid of. I was able to get a couple cases of tomatoes that were half the price of what I bought them in September. I still haven't even unpacked all of my canning supplies, so I know that I'm going to end up making some spaghetti sauce with this, and then possibly later I will take those frozen tomatoes that I put in the freezer and I'll make ketchup and barbecue sauce also. Another amazing deal that I got 3 entire bags full of peppers for $15. So I ended up getting 10 red ones, 10 green peppers, and then 10 yellow peppers that are still a little bit green and ripening up. I'm going to be washing these, and I will let those yellow-green ones ripen up a little bit more. But most of these I'm going to end up chopping and slicing and flash freezing and putting in the freezer so we can use them all winter long. But these newly ripened ones, they will end up staying fresh in my refrigerator for 3 to 4 weeks also. And these large bags are the mesh and the muslin produce bags that we have on our storefront. We are officially all unpacked and all of the bags are back in the shop again. So make sure you're checking that out. The link for our shop is in the description. I was able to score 6 more kind of smaller size zucchinis. These skins are pretty thin, so I want to make sure that I get these washed, and these will go into the refrigerator, or I will shred some of them and put them in the freezer. But I got 6 zucchini total. And those zucchini, I love adding to my zucchini brownie recipe, which is really great to have at any time. I like to also be able to sneak a zucchini into recipes to kind of boost up the nutrient content a little bit in a recipe. And I was able to stock up on a whole bunch of squashes that they were trying to get rid of. And those were only $1 a piece. So I ended up getting some more delicata squash, some acorn squash, butternut squash, and some spaghetti squash, which I'm going to end up washing and using as fall decor for the next couple weeks as we eat it. Over the weekend, we went to the pumpkin patch, and while we were there, I made sure to grab some more sugar pie pumpkins, and that way I could roast these. And I'm going to end up putting a lot of it into the freezer, and I sneak this into recipes also. My kiddos didn't even know until they went away to college that I normally put pumpkin puree in our mac and cheese. So I try to sneak it in anywhere I can. I got a bag of jalapenos that I'm going to end up dicing up and probably putting a lot of these into the freezer. I got a whole bag of them, but I've been making queso with these and it's so delicious. And I've been making some Crunchwrap Supremes with the queso. It's just a really fun change to taco night. I also got some Japanese pears. I love having the new fresh fruit that comes into season and mixing up what we have in the house. We did make a couple different stops at some of the smaller stands just to see what they had available. And I did pick up some shallots and some fresh ginger at the smaller stands just to make sure that I was supporting their business. I also got some fresh beets that I'm going to end up roasting and adding to our meals. There's more here on the countertop. I didn't grab them all. These I will store in a bowl in my crisper drawer, and that way they don't bleed over the other things. And I got some rutabaga and turnips, and I think it's always something that's funny that whoever's checking you out never knows which one's which, so you have to know which one's which. Or if they happen to be the same price, to kind of check that out at the same time, to be able to tell them that it's the same price, so it doesn't matter which one you end up bringing up. I also got a bunch of fresh green beans. These are ones that I'm going to wash and then put in the refrigerator and we're going to use in the next couple weeks. But I like when I'm able to pick them out and not get the bag that's in the plastic bag, and that way I can really pick out the freshest ones that I want. So I did take an extra minute and get all of the nicest green beans I could. And this is in the mesh medium-sized bag. Now, we went to all the farm stands and then we went to Costco. I am going to divide up what we're talking about at Costco for produce and keep the produce stuff all together, and then we'll end up doing the rest of the grocery haul in another video. One of the other things that I got at the farm stand was a huge elephant garlic. Now, I made sure that I got an organic one, and this one I'm actually going to plant the cloves out in my garden in the fall. So we just got a brand new garden bed, and I'm going to plant this around Halloween, and then it will be ready to be pulled up around the 4th of July. So I'm really excited to plant my first thing in my new garden here at the new house. But I got an organic one just from the farm stand because here in Washington, you can't get garden bulbs shipped to you. Garlic is one of the things that's banned to be shipped in. So it's really hard to find them. So I ended up just getting the farm stand ones or grocery store ones, but you want to get organic ones. And then I did get at Costco the big bag of garlic. And this is a trick that I like watching for is here on the tag, it says that it was picked in September 2025. So I know that this is this year's harvested garlic, and this will stay fresh all year long if you store it next to onions or by itself, but not near potatoes. So oftentimes I will keep a couple here in the kitchen and then I will put the rest down in the pantry. This bag has all of the produce that I got at Costco and at the grocery store. I love that it is a jumbo size, but it still has the small handles so you can carry it easily and not drag it on the ground. And then it also has the large over-the-shoulder handles. But these organic bags are twice the size of the market bags that we've had in our store for a couple of years now. So in this bag has all of the rest of the produce that kind of rounds out everything else that I bought. So we got a big head of romaine lettuce. And then I got some cilantro and parsley. That one's cilantro. I got some kale. I'm probably going to end up just washing this and putting it into the freezer, and that way I can pull it out later when I want to make zuppa toscana. And then I ended up getting 2 bunches of celery. I want to continue to make some stock to get caught back up on having a lot of stock here in my freezer, so I got extra celery. And I got a big container of spinach. And right now it is grape season, so I made sure to get some grapes. And I also got some blueberries, and I got a large container of mushrooms. Now, Mike doesn't like mushrooms very much, and normally I would get these and slice them up and dehydrate them so they would last all year long. But it's the fall, winter time, and I can sneak them into some recipes right now, and he won't notice as much. And then I always get a large bag of carrots. It's so funny. Almost every night when I'm cooking dinner, I have a kiddo that calls me and checks in, and almost every night when I'm cooking dinner, I am munching on carrots. And when I'm answering the phone, I'm normally trying to stop eating the piece of carrot and answer the phone, and we laugh about it almost every single night. It's just a really good habit to munch on some veggies while you're making a meal, or that right before dinner snack, and then you're not so worried about what your family is eating during the meal. And if I have them sitting out, then Mike will walk by and grab a couple also. So this is all of the produce that I bought. This will all stay fresh for at least a month, and I will continue to use it. I based my meals around the things that were in season and I purchased, but we will do some scan overs so you can see it all at one time because there's not enough room here on the counter for me to show you. But for all of this produce, I spent $133. But my grocery budget is $270 a month. So the next video, you will see how I went to Costco and to 𝐂𝐿𝐍𝐿, which is a local grocery store, and I was able to round out all the other items that I needed to make home-cooked meals for the entire month. Make sure that you're checking out our Zero Waste to Produce guide. This is listed in the description, and there are bundles with all the different bags that you can get the best deal for this. This book has 75 produce items listed A to Z and tips on how I get them all to stay fresh for weeks. Plus, there are tons of recipes and other meal ideas in here. So make sure you're hitting subscribe and you're also watching for that part 2 of the grocery shopping trip. And we also do a meals series that shows all of the new meals that I'm making that we put out every 2 weeks. We started this at the beginning of January 2025, our meals number 20 video. So that is an entire playlist to make sure that you check out. I spend time every single day trying to answer all of your questions. I check in first thing in the morning and again in the evening and sometimes all through the day, trying to make sure that I'm answering your questions. If you have a question about a certain produce item, looking for a video, wondering what can freeze well, all of the things, make sure you ask them in the comments and I am happy to answer all of your questions.